Adam Savage here in my cave with a famous Mythbusters prop as today's time machine slash show and tell. This is the very same cruiser that Tory Belleci famously wiped out on in the second season of Mythbusters. How do I know it's the second season? Because just before Tory wipes out, we hear someone go, na, 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 which is the Wicked Witch's theme from The Wizard of Oz. And that na, 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 was being sung by none other than Scotty Chapman, who was the third host in the second season. I've had this bike since the early 90s. I found it in the basement of my old apartment on Bartlett Street. I asked my landlord if I could have it, and he was like, yeah, please take it out of my sight. I don't want it. And I put new tires on it way back then. Then it was part of the Mythbusters riding. It was like we used it to ride back and forth sometimes between M5 and M7. And then somewhere, when the Mythbusters explosive exhibitions started touring science museums around the United States, this was part of that tour. And so this thing has cables on it because it hung from the ceiling for 10 years. I am going to fix it back up. I've got some new tires to put on it. I've pulled out my bicycle repair kit and some handlebars. But I also thought it was a reasonable opportunity to tell you what you might not know is that some of the first mechanical repair that I did for real was with bicycles. When I was really young, like 10 or 11, I had my older sister Chris had a Paris sport bike, and she gave it to me, and it was a nice 10-speed, 1970s derailleurs, down here on the stalk with little handles. And it got stolen. It got stolen out of our backyard one summer. And my parents filed an insurance claim, and they got like $350 for it, which was real money in the 70s. I mean, I remember it being like $200 or $300 they got for it. And they let me go to the bike store and buy a bike with that dough. I know. So I went to the bike store and I bought, and this is like 1982, I think. So I would have been 15. I went to the bike store and I bought a beautiful French bike called a Motobacan. And it weighed, I think, like 18 pounds. It was a beautiful racing bike. That was the bike I rode around New York City like a bat out of hell for the better part of half a decade. That Motobacan was beautiful. And we had this wonderful bike store in Tarrytown called Sleepy Hollow Bicycle, which was a family-run business. And if I remember correctly, the three sons were all cyclists. And like, whenever you're around like a group of cyclists, it really feels like a gazelle exhibit at the zoo, because it's always like dudes in wooden shoes, like clomping around, and they have giant legs, and they're really like gentle giant cyclists. I am painting them with a really dumbly broad brush. But the three young men that were the racing enthusiasts at Sleepy Hollow Bicycle were really generous with me. And after a certain number of flat tires, because this was a racing bike, it had thin tires, not like any of my others. And I'm hard on my equipment, so I kept on having flats. And I think on the third time I went to them to fix a flat, they were like, come here, we're going to show you how to fix a flat so you'll know for the rest of your life. And they showed me how to fix a flat. And that gave me a little bit of confidence, along with, there's an amazing movie called Breaking Away. Breaking Away, which our family saw several times because Paul Dooley, the amazing comedian, improv genius, and actor through the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Paul Dooley was one of my dad's oldest friends. And so we went and saw that movie twice in the theater in solidarity for Paul. He played the racist dad in Breaking Away. But there's this extended third act turn in which the main character decides, I am going to take this piece of crap bicycle and I'm going to enter this race and I'm going to win. And he takes this bicycle and there's this just long repair sequence at his workbench. And I remember being really inspired by that sequence. And I also remember being less mystified than I expected. And what that meant was I started to become more confident about taking apart my bike and putting it back together. Not to say that I was like packing headstock bearings back then or anything, but I was doing a fair bit of dismantling and remantling. When I moved into Manhattan, where, your bike is going to get beat to crap, I did a lot more self-bike repair and repair on other friends' bikes. So yeah, the bicycle is the platform. For a lot of people, it's a car, but for me, the bicycle is the platform on which I first started to cut my mechanical engineering and repair chops. So every time I have a bicycle in my hands, it always feels like a little bit of old home, kind of like return to home. I'm going to use this bicycle kit. I want to just point out, this is Spin Doctor. It's a few years old, this bicycle repair kit. I'm a believer in toolkits, and I don't think there are enough of them in the world. I mean, there's lots of toolkits with like 40 screwdrivers in them when you only need 6 maybe. And that pisses me off. But bicycle kits, bicycle repair kits are one of these very small spaces in the world where they're just fantastic. And you could buy them at every level of your skill. You could buy a $20 bicycle repair kit. You could buy a $150. And they're going to have mostly the same stuff. The expensive one's just going to last longer. I love bicycle repair kits. It's a really neat space in terms of commerce, retail. Okay, I'm going to put some new tires in this thing and basically clean it up because it hasn't been written in maybe 2004? Yeah, it hasn't been written in 15 years, at least. Okay. So for those wondering about the make and model, this is a Rampar beach cruiser from the late 70s, early 80s. I've found it in a couple of catalogs from back then. Rampar was a imprint of Rally. It's not an amazing bike. It's not worth a lot, but I love the cruiser style. I never ever tire of the cruiser style. So yeah, we're gonna pull off the fenders. We're gonna pull off the tires. We're gonna fix them up. Actually, what's funny is even though these tires are 15 years old, you can see that they're effectively unridden. Like I bought these in 2001 or something. This came to Mythbusters and rode back and forth, but not a lot. Not a lot. You can, like, I can even still see the mold parting line of the tooling for the tire treads. Yeah, so we'll make this thing look pretty good in a little while. Oh, yeah, right. The brakes, the coaster brakes. Dude, I forgot all about coaster brakes. Just kick back on your pedals. That's all I had for years. Oh, come on! All right, so that tire comes off. As to whether Tory Belleci has PTSD from having face planted so spectacularly on this bike, you're just going to have to ask him, because I don't know. Why is there a whole bunch of rubber wrapped around this part? I also don't know the answer to that. Oh, right. God, there's all this stuff that's all in line with each other. Right. That's on the outside, and then this guy comes in. Yep. That's the front tire. Oh, I wish I could get all the rust off of there, but that won't happen today. And then this guy. Yeah, great. I'm going to get rid of this, the basket. I could fix the basket up and put it back on, but I'm going to get rid of it for now because it's ugly and it's really beaten up. All right, let's see here. Oh, that was easy. That was literally a bolt, I think, just sheared. Yeah. Oh, the bell. The bell. Let's get rid of this bloody bell. It's ugly. It also doesn't work. If it worked, it would be a different story. I already cut myself. There we go. Okay. Oh, right, there's that. Oh, is that an Allen? First try! First try! When does that ever happen? Come on. Oh, that's it. Another kickstand. Long broken. That's going to be a useful little metric screw. I don't feel like I really need to pull this all apart to pull the chain out. Oh, I guess I wished I could have new paddles for this, but oh, they're fine. Okay, I think I've got. This isn't a full restore. This is more like a elbow grease restore. Just trying to take off the rust that's on the chrome, the rome that's on the crust. Just sort of let it, yeah, there we go. That's where the... It looks like someone tried to paint this with turquoise paint and that somebody else attempted to reverse that process. I can't say that either of them won this contest, but it's clear that the contest happened. And I'm just gonna get all the way in here and kind of, yeah, I've got some other products I can apply to this. I know I can pull the pedals off, just, I don't quite care enough. Bicycle shit. I just noticed a reason why this was an inexpensive bike. The crank is held in its orientation by this secondary part of the right crank arm. It's just like, look at, that's the slop inherent. Yeah. Like I said, we found this from a couple of 1980, late 70s rally dealer catalogs that we found scans of online. Okay. In case anybody wants to figure out exactly when this bike was built, it looks like 79, July of 79. I mean, yeah, this thing does need a complete paint job. It totally does. Someday I may do that. But now, let's put this to the side, and I'm gonna fix a couple of bicycle tires. go. Oh, still's got the valve cap on it. Amazing. All right. There's the old inner tube. Oh, yeah, there's a little bit of protection. I just bought new tires. I didn't even wonder if these were still good. They actually might be still good, but I'm not going to count on them. However, I'm not throwing this out. Inner tube rubber, really, really good rubber. Even if only you're making a part machine. That's another show and tell. The basic way to change a tire is to use a tire changing tool. Really, don't use a screwdriver. That way it can lie madness. But you use a tire changing tool. You get it under one of the wire beads of the tire, and you lever it up over the edge. Right now I'm having trouble. I keep grabbing two. Okay, so you grab one and get it over the edge. And then you go turn it 10 or 15 degrees, grab another one, and lever that up and over the edge. Now you're off to the races. A lot of the cheap tire changing tools provide very little leverage, and I've had them snap on me. It's worth investing in a nice set. Again, these Spin Doctor ones are lovely. And with the big tires, it's really quite easy. Okay. Let's just see how true this guy is. True enough. Boink, boink. I see a movement of about about 1/8 of an inch out of true. It's fine. Totally fine. All right, let's get some of this rust off. I just want a little more gription on this. Oh, wow, these are really beat up, aren't they? Good. I don't think this is how you restore a bike, by the way. I mean, if this was an important piece and I wanted to restore it, I would be pulling it all the way down to the spokes, cleaning everything, having it chrome plated and stuff like that. That's all really fun shit to do, but it's not for this one. I just want to get this one. We're just less dirtying this. How's that? All right. So now I'm going to true up these wheels, and truing is a dark art. Everything is loose. It'll be about 45 minutes of going back and forth. You should have a truing stand for truing, but frankly, a bike frame works just fine for, to get it close enough for you and me. Oh, wow, this back tire is really... Okay, so first of all, half of these spokes are completely loose. See how that tire's moving around? It's out of true. And the spokes here are how you get it back into true. This is really bad. All right, let's get myself a point of reference here. Yeah, there we go. Again, on a truing stand, you're really looking much closer at stuff, but again, this is a cruiser. I don't need to, this doesn't need to be racing perfect. I definitely can improve that. Yeah, look, it's not beautiful, but it's way better than it was, and the spokes are all mostly tight. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I could tighten that. Truing is really fun. I'm sure there are tons of excellent YouTube videos on how to true up a wheel. Building a wheel from scratch is a deeply satisfying experience. Getting a bunch of spokes from the bicycle store, getting a hub and a rim, and getting them all to work together, not easy. I've done it a couple times, really fun. The first time I ever did it, put it on a bike, took that bike out on the street, hit a pothole, bent the rim that I had just built. Oh my God, it made me so sad. Now I'm just feeling out all the spokes, making sure everything's nice and tight. Good. Back wheel is relatively clean. So let's get a tire back on it. Don't you fall. Don't you fall. Should be able to get, yeah, should be able to get one side of the tire's bead rim on without having to resort to any tools. And I'll show you how we install the tire. Look, this was all taught to me in 1980 something. All right, let's see here. We want to get a little bit of air into this. Just a little bit of body to it, that's it. You don't want it to, yeah, that's about it. Just a little bit soft. Really, it's so much easier if it's got a little body to it. Now, I don't think I'm going to make these look any better. I think I'm just going to let them be shitty. All right, so this comes in here, next to there. And then this comes in. Nose. Oh, that's nice. I know it's not perfectly straight, but it's fine for, yeah, it's fine. All right. Yeah. Let's get that tightened. Okay, and now I need a little bitty thing, also stainless. And we'll get some nylock. 832 nuts. 8, 8, 8, 8. There we go. Oh! First try, second time in a row. Could this be a sea change? Could I start to pick correct Allen wrenches off the top of my head? Oh, the burgeoning X-Men power within Adam flowed. Still a little, yeah, that's still kind of ugly. This is the old tire, and I'm going to use it for something. Now, normally I would have picked up the thing I'm about to make from the bicycle store for like, I don't know, $1, but I don't have it, and this is a reasonable way to make a facsimile. If you look at the business end of the spokes, you don't really want those spoke ends touching your tires, the inner tubes. They can impart, you know, they can scratch. So there's always you might have seen it on this one, there's a ring of rubber that protects the tire from the spokes. And again, it's probably like $1, but I forgot to grab one at the bicycle store when we were picking up handles. And so I'm just gonna make one out of the rest of this inner tube. The inner tube has these nice lines that follow it around its perimeter, so I don't really need to worry too much about being exact. I'm just going on the inside track following the lines. It should be done in a minute. They really felt amazing to like put bikes together and then ride them. That's the thing about working on your car that people don't tell you, is like when you fix something on your car and then you drive it, you can feel that fix. Oh my God, it's intoxicating. When you like, let's see. Oh, the biggest one of those I ever had was when my engine mounts of my Volvo failed. And when the engine mounts of your car fail, the engine, just the whole car just starts splashing around and the engine's moving. You can really hear it. It's just awful. It's a thing. And so I bought some new engine mounts because there used to be this great place in Berkeley called RPR Discount Volvo Parts. They were next to the Hotsy Totsy up there in northern Berkeley. Okay, I screwed up and I didn't get it contiguous, but that still doesn't matter that much. I just need the hole to go over the outlet hole. Let's see here. This is fine, he says in the house full of burning things. Right. So I don't want all these kinks in there. That doesn't work for me. How am I going to do this? I'm going to do this with electrical tape. Which frankly, let's do it that way instead. Oh yeah, it's all oily and greasy. Well, let's see if I can even get all the way around before it starts to peel off. Come on, come on, come on, there we go. That's it, nice. I don't know, is this something that people do? It seems like a reasonable way to protect this. Good enough. There's our hole. Same bat channel, same rules apply. We put on one side. Okay, then we take the new tire. There it is. Take the valve cap off. Give it a little bit of body. Just that much, just that. Look, for thin tires, you definitely need bike tools to get the bead back underneath the rim. But for these big ones, you really don't. Also, on thin bike tires, man, you got to worry about your bike tools, your pry tools actually cutting through the tire. It's like trying to show my son Thing 1 how to change a tire, and I showed him just how badly Dad can mess up a tire. All right, here we go. Okay, that feels pretty good. I might not have turned on my compressor today. I think I can tell it's feeling a little anemic. Okay, so that is the front tire. We're going to clean these in a minute. Ah, right. This bad boy. I recognize I'm scratching the chrome with this. That's kind of on purpose. There are these tiny little tabs that are keepers for the wheel that are bent out of shape, so I'm just going to bend them back into shape. It probably got bent when someone took this apart and didn't know better. Bellissimo. This is kind of a keeper. Oh, hey, look at that. Look at how badly I messed that one up. I'm not the bicycle mechanic you want for the race. I'm the bicycle mechanic you want for the apocalypse. Let's just be really clear about that. Yeah, that doesn't work at all. Let's get you going. Okay, so what is your deal? Oh, I see. There we go. Okay, so these are how we kind of get these guys into. Oh, yeah, I see. That's nice. Mm-hmm. The legs of the fenders, so that nothing rubs. Great. Yeah, I know that rubbed. Let's see this one. Oh, right. Let's just feel out the... Much more of the front wheel spokes are in good shape than the back wheels. Look at that. That you got to take care of. Oh, no, I don't want that. Tightening. See if I can't. This wheel's a bit out of round, not out of true. Let me see if I can pull it back in. See that jump? Boop, 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 boop. All right, let's mark it. I feel like I'll feel that. Look at that. That's like a good 1/4 of an inch out of round. Let's see if I can fix that. Let's see what my truing skills really are. All right, up and down, up and down. I'm revising my opinion. I don't think I've made any progress at all. I'm not going to keep on chasing good money after bad here. I love your comments on how to pull a wheel back out of round. I remember that truing is about aggregating the distributed force of the spokes. So for instance, I remember very specifically that when you see the wheel moving this way or that way, which this one isn't doing very much. When you move it this way, if you find the place it's bumping and you give it like a measurement, okay, so it's moving outwards here by over about 15 inches, then what you do is, if it's moving out here, you tighten up the inside spokes and you loosen up the outside spokes, and you do each one by like a 1/4 turn. You sort of bracket the dent, and over time you feel it out. It's absolutely something that even a beginner can do if you have patience. But as far as pulling it this way into round, and I mean, you can see it's like, Actually, I really do think I've improved it a little bit, but I don't choose to improve it anymore. I'm gonna get some Armor All so I can clean these sidewalls, and we're almost there. All right, we're gonna turn it back over. It's starting to look like a thing again. Let's clean up this seat. Okay, let's get on this bicycle seat, I've got some tape because on television, logos for companies are not a thing that's allowed to exist. My crew will tell you how much I hated Greeking out the logos of stuff. Okay, so, okay, I need that's gonna be a 1032 by 3/4 inch button head. Let's get that in there. Actually, I've got an 832 by 3/4 inch button head. Will that do? Yes. Is this the same one? Well, third try. Got the right Allen wrench on the first try. All right, here we go. I know I have a smaller wrench, but this is the first one I grabbed. Much better. You will notice a welding mark here because probably we welded a camera rig to the front of this. I'm going to guess for something. I mean, look, if you've got a bicycle site, you'd like to restore this and repaint it, you go right ahead. But this is as far as I'm going to go. All right, let's get the handlebars on there. That was a little subtle. Yeah, let's put the bicycle basket back on. It's part of the original package. It all feels like it's in pretty reasonable rigidity to each other. Let's see here. No, look at this. This basket is, it's terrible. It's terrible. All right, I think, am I done? What is still rattling? Wait a second. Oh no, that's just tolerance. I think that's tolerance in the bearing pack of the back wheel because there's none of that in the front. Yeah, I think wait a minute. Yeah, this is, the whole fender's backwards. Okay, give me a sec. I'm gonna redo the fender and then we'll, all right, here we go. Just when I thought I was out. Back when you get a tattoo and the skin's all exposed, they use this wonderful, thin, breathable plastic sheet that you put over it. And I had a bunch because I had a tattoo done a couple of years ago. And I have this, I know this looks bad, but it's not. It's just a little flap of skin that bleeds a lot when I work. Yeah, I've been really able to keep it at bay. So yeah, I can't remember if I finished my thing before, but working on a bicycle is just a great way to build some mechanical confidence. It's a very parsable system. It rewards your attention, and the threshold to entry is not that high. I mean, these are lovely devices, and they're in some ways very simple, and there are some complicated things. Packing bearings, not for the faint of heart, and requires a little bit of instruction for me if I was going to do it. But for the other stuff like maintenance and tightening things down and keeping them oiled, again, once you ride a thing that you fixed and it rides well, oh, it feels so good. Okay, let's get what is that going to be? It's going to be 1.25 inch, 832. There you go. That's your home. Don't you want to go home? All right. Dude, this used to be a commute bike. I think I brought this to ILM and I rode it around between campuses for a while. And then absolutely, when M5 was on Missouri Street and M7 was at another industrial park over in San Francisco, I would ride between the sets on this thing. That is until, and I don't think it was Tory face planting on it that caused us to hang this. I think it just got in the way and we hung it from the ceiling for a while and then it went into the museum exhibit. It is lovely to see it back in fine form. See you guys next time.